You don't want none! You don't want none!
LB's Brick Squad, LB!
Brick Squad! Now boys ready?
Roll, boy!
You know!
Welcome to the Ray Sports Show, the special edition of the college pregame show that's been seen on Saturday from 9 a.m. until noon's kickoff time. This is a special edition. This is the Friday night. We're getting you ready for the Friday night action here today on the college football show. So we're gonna break it down here for you, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna break it down. We're gonna break it down big time here. We're gonna break down the schedule. We're gonna break down last night's actions. We're going to cover for tonight, and we're going to go ahead and break it down. For tonight's action, we're going to go ahead and run down the list of tonight's game. Number 10, North Carolina kicks it off tonight at 6 p.m. against Virginia Tech at Lane Stadium up in Blacksburg, Virginia, the home of the Hokies, with the addition of the Sandman entrance of that intimidation place. That is one of the most intimidating places to play football in. It's at Virginia Tech. When the stadium is lit up, fans get the lights on their cell phone. Sandman blasting through the thing is intimidating. They are going to try to intimidate North Carolina tonight at 6 p.m. That game will be on ESPN. Followed by that, and starting at 7 o'clock p.m. on the college sports on CBS Sports Network. There is the Duke Blue Devils at the Charlotte 49ers. This game will be played up in Charlotte, North Carolina at 7 p.m. And we're going to move up into Wake Forest, up in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, home of the Demon Deacons of Wake Forest on the ACC network. They are playing host to Old Dominion out of Hampton, Virginia. Really, it's Norfolk, Virginia. And also, it started at 7 p.m. on ESPN3. Eastern Michigan will play host to St. Francis, PA. This game is at 7 p.m. And we're going to go ahead and kick off at 8 o'clock on the Big 12 / ESPN Plus. It'll be Kansas hosting South Dakota in a big game. At 9 o'clock, we're going to move back to ESPN, where Northwestern will play host to Michigan State in a Big 10 matchup at 9 o'clock. Also at 9 o'clock, Northern Colorado will go invade Colorado at 9 o'clock. That will be on the Pac-12 TV network. At South Dakota State, at Colorado State at 9 p.m. That'll be on FS1. That's Fox Sports 1. So that's your kickoff for the night. Lineups. And let's talk about last night's actions here when we get started here on this great eve of college football, week 1 of college football here. You know, we were talking about last night. Let's go ahead and talk about Ohio State and Minnesota's game. That game was going all the way into the third quarter. At one time, Minnesota had the lead, but all of a sudden, Ohio State came roaring back in the third quarter, scored 21 points in that third quarter. And then they scored 14 points, only allowed 17 points in the third and fourth quarter total to Minnesota. Minnesota falls 45-31 to Ohio State number 4. The CJ Stroud, the new quarterback for Ohio State, replacing Justin Fields, went for completed 13 out of 22 passes for 294 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception at a QBR of 85.6. Ohio State running attack was very good. 9 carries by Williams for 125 yards, 1 touchdown, 71 yards is long. Teague, the third, carried 6 times for 29 yards, 10 yards the longest. Crawley contributed with 6 carries, 19 yards, 7 was his longest. T. Henderson, 2 carries for 15 yards, 10 was his longest. And C.J. Stroud combined with 3 carries for 13 yards and 6 was his long for Ohio State rushing attack. The team total was 26 carries, 201 yards, 1 touchdown, and 71 yards was the longest out of all the running backs. Ohio State receiving corps was led by Oakley, 4 catches, 117 yards, 61 was his long, 2 touchdown. Wilson combined with also had 5 receptions, 80 yards, 1 touchdown, 56 was his long. Henderson contributed with 70 yards, one completion, and his 1 completion was a 70-yard bomb touchdown by Ohio State. And then Ruckert, 1 catch, 15 yards, and Jay Smith Najaba with two catches, 12 yards. They combined with 13 catches, 294 yards, and 4 touchdowns, and the 70 yards long. They did have 2 Ohio State did have 2 fumble recoveries. Garnett they had 2 fumbles, but they were recovered by them. Ohio State defense was led by Hickman with 11 total tackles, 5 solos, no sacks. Mitchell had 10 total, 4 solo, 1 tackle for a loss. Simmons pitched in with 1 sack, and Harrison pitched in with 1 sack. They had 2 sacks on the night, and they had 4 total tackles for loss and 1 quarterback hurry. So that was a complete game by Ohio State. If you want to know something about quarterback here, Minnesota passing was T. Morgan, 14 out of 25 for 205 yards, 1 touchdown, 82.4 is his QBR. Ibrahim with 30 carries, 163 yards, led all running backs in this ball game. Minnesota rushing. He had 2 touchdowns, 56 was his long, and Potts contributed in with 10 carries for 34 yards. They combined for a team of 50 carries, 203 yards for Minnesota rushing. Minnesota receiving, Jackson for 3 catches, 58. Wright with 5 catches, 57, 1 touchdown. And they all combined for 14 receptions, 205 yards for Minnesota. So there was a good game all the way up into the first quarter. All the way up, they were leading. Minnesota was leading 14 to 10 at halftime, and we were leading after the 21 21 to 10, and then Ohio State rung off 21 unanswered points in the third quarter and 14 points in the fourth, and took equal there 45, and then Minnesota only combined for 17 points in the third and fourth. So that was the total domination of Ohio State at the end. This game was close to midway through the third quarter. I was updating the guys on my real talk last night as this game was progressing. It was Minnesota was in the lead, and all of a sudden, and then number 4 Ohio State finally got they act together on defense and started forcing some. They only allowed them to score 17 points in the third and fourth quarter total, and while Ohio State came back and scored 38 in the third and fourth quarter total. So that was Ohio State. If you look at last night's football games, that really wasn't. Yeah, I mean, it really wasn't a real good contest for this game, for the last night's game. But let's see here. We had scores: Minnesota 45. Well, Minnesota 31, Ohio State 45. You had the Coastal Carolina 52, Citadel 14. Pass McCall for Chandeliers had 262 yards, and Jones had 100 yards rushing. So if you look at this total right here at for the Citadel, we're talking about the Citadel was an option team; they were not a throwing team, and Chanticleers jumped on quickly, like I told them. If they yesterday pregame, I told them they needed to jump on them quickly. They did. They got up to a 14-0 lead, and they just coasted to the end, 52-14 with that final score. Look at Weber State in Utah. That game was Weber State was leading at one time in this game 7-0, and then Utah came storming back. Utah won 40-17 over Weber State. Brewer with 233 yards passing, and Thomas with 107, and then Kincaid with 75 yards led in that game. We talked about number 25, Arizona State. We had my buddy Jay Ness on here. He's an Arizona State fan. He talked about that Southern Utah had no chance. They didn't have no chance. ASU, Arizona State University, scored 41. Southern Utah 14. Miller led the game, 146 yards passing. White had 64 yards rushing, and Hodges with 57. So that really wasn't a contest there. Boise State and UCF was the closest game at night. Boise State and UCF. UCF came back and won. Boise State was leading at one time. Let's take a look in this. Let's go ahead and take a look at this game here. Let's see if we can get inside the box score of this ball game here for this game here. Let's take a look at some of these things here for this game here. First quarter, we're going to run down some of the game action here in this game. Tyreek LaBeouf, 100 yards, interception return. Gave the Bison 7-0 lead. At the 9:58 mark, at the 4-minute mark, Andrew Van Burn 3-yard run. John Delama's kick, 10 plays, 78 yards. A minute 46 on the clock. They were leading 14-0 at this time. They were leading 14-0 after the first quarter. Second quarter, Calvin Shark, 19-yard pass from Hankin Backmere. Jonathan Dillon's kick, 12 plays, 73 yards. 4 minutes and 17 seconds. They were leading 21-0 at the 12:50 mark of this ball game. At the 11:23 mark, we had UCF finally scored their first touchdown. Alec Holler, 23-yard pass from Dylan Gabriel, and Daniel Arnowski kick, 4 plays, 75 yards, a minute and 27 seconds. They were down 21-7. John DeLemus on a Bison's kick. Boise State came back, hit a 31-yard field goal, 9 plays, 30 minutes and 35 seconds in the second quarter. They were leading 24-7 at this point. Tyus Moko Adamada with 8 yards passed from Dylan Gabriel. Daniel Anaz kick, 7 plays, 74 yards, a minute and 21 left in this ball game. That was the last play of the second quarter. They were leading 24-14 at this point. They were down 10. They were down 21 before they came in and scored 14 points in the second quarter. UCF did. They held the Bisons down to 10 points in that quarter. If you keep looking at here, starting the third quarter, this is where the UCF started to get a little bit of momentum here. Brandon Johnson, 11-yard pass from Dalen Gabriel. Daniel Amaz, 8 plays, 84 yards, 3 minutes and 23 seconds. At the 11:37 mark of the third quarter for UCF, score is now 24-21. UCF took the lead in the third quarter. All UCF in the third quarter. Jalen Robinson, 21-yard pass from Dylan Gabriel. Daniel's Kids, 10 plays, 78 yards, 4 minutes and 24 seconds to give them a 4-point lead. They have made it now, have made it come back. They have made a comeback and took the lead at the end of the third quarter, UCF. Coming in the fourth quarter, we have a team safety, 4 plays, negative 25 yards, a minute and 1 second. They got a safety. It makes it now 24-30. Colin Shark, 7-yard pass from Hank Bikesmere. Jonathan Dumas kick for the Bisons. At the 8-minute mark, this play took 2 minutes and 31 seconds and 38 seconds. It makes the score now 31-30. Bison's up by 1, regain the lead. We're going to keep playing here. We get all the way down to the 4 minutes and 16 mark. That's the last touchdown. The last touchdown of the game with UCF. They make it now 31-36. Isaac Roster, 8-yard run. 2-point conversion failed, 10 plays, 75 yards, 3 minutes and 46 seconds. And that was the final score, 36-14. So if you look at the scoring here, 14-0 after the first for the Bisons. UCF came back, scored 14. Bison scored 10 in the second quarter. The score is now 24-14. All third quarter scoring came from the UCF Knights, 14-0. And then at the fourth quarter, it was 8-7. That made that game 36-31 total. I had the Bisons winning this game. This is the game I lost in this week 1 right here. So, got to take what you got right here. I got, almost all the games right except for this one, because this game was either or. And it was played down in Orlando last night, and the Bisons came back out and played a good game all the way up to the third quarter, where the UCF took a little bit of control. Then the Bisons took it back in the fourth quarter. UCF finished it off. It came down to the last play of the game in that contest. So that's what we're looking at right now. We're looking there. That was a close game in this first week here, right here. Let's take a look here. What other good games here? What other games? I mean, North Carolina State trashed South Florida in Raleigh, North Carolina. That's a tough place to play up in Raleigh. The crowd was electrified in that game. North Carolina State came out. Larry came out with 232 yards. Cook rushed for 94, and Quentin Williams with 96 yards led all the receivers in that contest. I'm sorry. Yeah, Knight and Weaver for North Carolina State University. So, the next game was at the Battle of the Carolinas, East Carolina, Appalachian State. Appalachian took it 33-19 up in Boone, North Carolina. We thought East Carolina was going to continue. That broke a 6-game losing streak Appalachian State had since 1975 against East Carolina. Alders for Appalachian State, 200, for East Carolina, 295 yards. Noel, 126. Heenan, 114. But Appalachian State took the contest. Here's another good contest. UC Davis at Tulsa. That was a good contest there. It was final score. UC Davis pulled the upset over Tulsa. That's another game. That's another game I lost here. I'm going down and trying to figure out who I lost to and stuff like that this week. I lost the UCF game. I lost the Tulsa game. UC Davis, 19. Tulsa, 17. Rodriguez, 311 yards. Prince, 179 yards. And Harrell, 136 yards. Complete game by UC Davis. Interesting contest here was Bowling Green at Tennessee up in Knoxville. This was not a game. Tennessee took the victory, 38-6 over Bowling Green. McDowell had 187 yards passing, Small 116, High at 62. So Josh Hopper took this game, took his first win in Tennessee. So Tennessee is 1-0 this year. I didn't lose this game. Let's take a look. UT Martin going into Western Kentucky. No, this was not even a contest. 59-21. Zapp had 424 yards. Logan had 75 and Stern 107. Let's go look here. New Mexico took care of Houston Baptist 27-17. Brenton 196 yards, Dumas 57 yards, and Leonard 72. Let's take a look at Long Island versus FIU. The battles of the FIU and the IUs and the LIUs. 48-10 without a contest. Brogan Chandler 266, Prince 165, Singleton 149. So they FIU took care of that. Let's take a look here. Oh, we have another upset. This is another game I lost right here. I lost this game. I lost 3 games so far this season. 3 games so far this season. Eastern Washington took care of the Running Rebels of UNLV 35-33 and 2 overtime. Barty had 374 yards, went 172, Boston 106. So we're taking a look at overall the Wednesday night matchup, UAB versus Jacksonville State. UAB took care of that, 31-0. That wasn't a game. Saturday's action. We didn't really talk about Saturday's action last week. So on Thursday, Nebraska took care, lost to Illinois 30-22. Fresno State over UConn 45-0. UCLA jumped all over Hawaii 44-10. New Mexico lost to UTEP 30-3. That's another game I lost right there. So I have now lost 4 games this season. Southern Utah is San Jose State. San Jose State took care of that 45-14. So right now I stand and have 4 losses so far this season. 4 losses so far this season. In the early contest, I'll have to tally up all the wins on Saturday. Yes, this game show is originally on Saturdays at 9 a.m., leading all the way up to the 12 o'clock kickoff on the ASEP All Sports All Play Network and the Fox Network. We are on the Fox Network today. On the platform, we got it all approved to be on here today, and we got it all straightened out. And we're all on the Fox TV platform. I'd like to welcome everybody who does tuning in. This is the Ray Sports Show, the pregame college show on the All Sports All Play Network. And we're going to be right back here in a few minutes. We need to take a special break here. And we got a little bit of commercials, and we'll get started for the Friday night action. To break down the Friday night action here on the Ray Sports Show, the pregame college show on the All Sports All Play Network.
This is the Fox D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at foxdnetwork.com.
Welcome back to the Race All Sports Play. I'll pull up. I got the website. I got the Facebook page all pulled up. If you want to send some comments, you go to the. I'll put it up here on the banner. It's going to be strolling down below me. There you go, right there. You hit all these up here. Yes, the Facebook page. You can put your pictures, your tailgate pictures. People are tailgating tonight, leading up to the game. I want to see these pictures so we can put them up here. If you send it to our Facebook page, put them in the comments. I'll pull them from the comments and put them on the show. Yes, we need all the, get some good content from the thing. Hey, if you want to put a live feed video up there and you can get it, put it on the page. If I can get it to me, you can email me at the Ray Sports Show at gmail.com. Also, you can email me there too with your videos. Or if you got Google Drive, you can put it on Google Drive and then share it with me. And then I can put your little videos up here for your tailgate. We want to see everybody. We don't want to have the atmosphere of college football. We want to hear on the All Sports All Play Network and the Fox D Network. So, we got good contents coming. We got good things coming here. We're going to talk about. Let's talk about the North Carolina, the first game of the night. It's a 6 o'clock p.m. game. It's going to be North Carolina versus Virginia Tech. We're talking about one of the best interests in college football the Virginia Tech Hokie has. Everybody's got the cell phone lights up. It's getting night game. It's going to be an imitation on the trying to put on North Carolina, number ranked 10 in the nation. Are they deserve to be the number ranked 10 in the nation? We're going to find out. Mack Brown came back last year. Carolina is getting through. Mack Brown's got a system going. Mack Brown's got a recruiting thing. He's got pours with all the high school coaches in North Carolina. They are retooling, revamping. They're trying to get back to where he was before he left to go to Texas. Yes, he was at North Carolina before he went to Texas University. Mack Brown has brought a thing. Sam Howell. What can we say about Sam Howell? He is a Heisman contender. How good would he be? You got to understand. North Carolina went to as a phase. They lost both of their running backs over 1,000 yards rushers. They lost their two of their best wide receivers and Kwame Brown and Newsome. Kwame Brown's brother, Keffy Brown's there. Emory Simmons. We're going to be without Bo Corrales, one of the top veterans who's been pretty good for North Carolina and wide receiver, a real live possession wide receiver. You got Emory Simmons who's going to step up. They played in the bowl game, so they got a little bit of experience without the 2,000 yards rusher. They lost to Texas A&M in the bowl game, so they did lose the final game of the season. They're predicted to be ACC Coastal Division winners. Still Clemson's pick to win the ACC championship. But Carolina's picked to win the ACC Coastal. Clemson's picked to win the Atlantic Division. They're still going to have a little contest with North Carolina State that Clemson will be. We're looking at in Chapel. This game is in Virginia Tech. Right off the bat, this game is a very little game for us North Carolina fans because we don't have a good extent to play up in Blacksburg. We have only won a few games in Blacksburg. We've been intimidated sometimes up there with the Sandman. The blast of the Sandman song, the entrance is a good thing. I think that's going to take a little toll on Carolina at the beginning. Virginia Tech could jump out on North Carolina early, and then North Carolina will probably get back involved in this game. So we're talking about two pair of 1,000 yards rusher. Who's going to replace them? Well, North Carolina's going to run it back by committee this year. So they're going to have more. You can't key on one person. They're going to have more than one person on their rushing game. The offensive line has got experience. They're coming back with experience. The defense has gotten better under Jake Bateman. Jake Bateman's got his players now, starting to fill out some of his players. They lost a key linebacker in Surratt, but they still got Kimball. Kimball is one of the reliable tacklers. He's going to be the call in the game in the linebacker position. We got a stud cornerback in Grimes who came on at latter half of the year. He was a high school, got reclassified last year to play for North Carolina. He played in a few games for North Carolina, did great at the tail end of the game. So North Carolina has a good corner. So, but you got to understand with Virginia Tech, how the Virginia Tech and they're gonna try to attack North Carolina. But just like you said, North Carolina has the height fact. Tar Heels have 4 tough games away from home, including this matchup against Virginia Tech. Yes, they're very good. North Carolina has gone just 5-5 away from home under Mack Brown, a mark that includes a loss to a 3-6 Florida State team and a 5-5 Virginia team last season. That is correct. Of course, Virginia Tech hasn't exactly inspired conference with its ability to win at home, as the Hokies have dropped 3 straight home games during the late season stretch of 2020. But Virginia Tech is a very talented football team, but the quarterback position is a question mark. They have a lot of turnaround in that quarterback position. They still got Braxton Birdminster, who can play quality football for the Hokies. Will surprise a lot of people, and I think that begins tonight against the Tar Heels. Certain people are predicting the game to be 31-21 North Carolina. There's still a lot of questions. They still have their 2 top receivers and the 2 1,000-yard running backs, like I said a year ago, who all went into the NFL. Sam Howell is now a good college quarterback and driving on a high octane. This Carolina's is a high octane thing. They like to run the ball. They like to pass the ball. They like to run and shoot. They like to go deep. can the Virginia Tech defense and the corners hold up tonight? That's going to be a good question. Are they deep enough in the corners? If Carolina gets that running game going and it gets that up speed going on the up speed factor, and then they can start wearing the team out in the fourth quarter. That's what they did last year. They started wearing a lot of teams out in the fourth quarter. The two running back, 2 months. Can they get that same thing going with this running back committee? That's gonna be an interesting dynamic for Carolina. Throwing the ball, Carolina's defense, despite finishing fifth nationally with 36 sacks, the Hills has issues when they did not get to the opposing quarterback. That is the truth. We have a problem with running quarterback. If Virginia Tech quarterback gets running ability, North Carolina had a lot of problems with running quarterback last year. So can they go ahead and produce that for it? So we get into that here in a moment. We're going to go down the line. Rutgers won 6-4. That's true. A baseball score, So you learned today that the first ever college football game was Rutgers versus New Jersey. The final score was 6-4. This was right after the Civil War. Yeah, Nate pulled some great stats there. Good job, Nate, on that one. That was an interesting thing, 6-4. That was like a baseball score, Joe from the Fox Sport, he wants to know who you like in Michigan State and Northwestern. I like Michigan State, but Northwestern's playing at home. Northwestern's been pretty good at home. So, that's going to be a lot of things. We're going to break that game down here in a little bit on the Ray Sports Show here. Let's finish up this North Carolina tax here, and then we can get ready to move on to the next game. That would be the Duke versus the Charlotte 49ers. The thing here, I think this is going to be the key factor. If Carolina can improvise their pro and how gets the balls to the receivers and their response, I think North Carolina will pull this out. But it's going to be a close game. I'm not going to call it a blowout game. I'm going to say 34-20. I'm going to say 34-31 at the most. North Carolina pulls it out with the last second field goal. That's my opinion on this game. Let's move right along here for the next game here. I got one more thing here. They are predicting the odds here on the betting odds, money line. On the odds, there's North Carolina's -230, 100 plus 190 on the money line for Virginia Tech. The spread is +5. North Carolina's is favored. So I think North Carolina's going to probably win this game, and I'd say it's going to be a close game. So if you're going with the point spread, don't bet for the underdog, because I think it's going to only be a 3-point spread, not a 5.5. That's kind of a little bit too much, because you got the factor of Lane Stadium, the Sandman, and you got everything possibility here on this game. So we keep moving right along here. It's 4:34. We got plenty of time. We got plenty of time to get through everybody's game here today. The next game is up. It's the Duke Blue Devils. Will travel to Charlotte, North Carolina, to meet the Charlotte 49ers on this game. Both Duke and the 49ers will be looking to rebound from this disappointing results in 2020 when the two teams square off in the Queen City on Friday night. It's a Friday night football in Carolina. It's another battle of the Carolinas, like Appalachian State and East Carolina. Who's going to win this battle? It's going to be a interesting here. Duke Blue Devils 2 wins last season, where the fewest in Dave Cutcliffe's era, and the lowest total since the 1-11 2017. But one of the two wins came against the Charlotte 49ers after leading the 49ers to their first ever bowl game in 2019. Will Henley could not replicate that season. That's in his second season. His squad was limited to only 6 games, and they won just 2 by combining a few impact transfers with some key returning pieces. Henley hopes to have a better season. This game is tonight at 7:00 on the CBS Sports Network. Duke is favored by 6.5. So that's what you're looking at. You're looking at Duke as a favorite. Last time Duke was favored, Duke ended up losing. Can Charlotte, the 49ers, pull this upset here tonight? It's going to be a very tough tell. I'm going to continue to break this game down here, and I'll give you my pick after I break it down. So if you're going to look here, Duke has many issues in 2020, but the turnovers were by the far the biggest problem. Their 39 giveaways were the worst in America, 14 more than the next two last, Georgia Tech. In fact, the past 10 years, only 2017, San Jose State Spartans turned the ball over more times than Duke. Uh, while not the only cause quarterback Chase Bryce, 15 interceptions, 7 fumbles were the primary factors of this ugly, ugly, ugly turnover fest for the department for the Duke Blue Devils. Bryce is up now at Appalachian State, and Gunnar Holmberg will take up the reins. Will Hunter Goldberg be better than Bryce? Bryce got a win last night against East Carolina at Appalachian State. Will we see a solid target in Jake Bobo, Elaine Pakal, and Jacob Calhoun? But Duke should be fueled by a ground game featuring Mateo Durant running behind a fairly experienced offensive line. They have a fairly experienced offensive line. The key right here, Charlotte allows 214 yards rushing. That's going to be a big factor for Duke, because if Duke gets that running game going, then you're going to look at that. You're going to look at this 49ers defense going to be on the field a lot. But the 49ers have to keep Duke in third and long. If they can keep them in third and long and get them off the field on third down, then you might see Charlotte's momentum. If Charlotte can stay in this game and through the first quarter and the half of the second quarter, they get confidence. They could put a little bit power hit on Duke Blue Devils. While the defense of Corey Ward comes in from Notre Dame, Kansas State transfer John Alexander will blossom the secondary defense, and Marquise Wyatt returns to health, could make a major difference. And that's definitely can make a major difference for the 49ers. Charlotte's quarterback, Chris Reynolds, should be fully healthy after battling through a shoulder injury last fall. 25 career start. He has thrown 36 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, and that's what Duke got to do. You got to jump Duke's corners. You got to test them out. You got to test Duke out real good. Let's look at the 49ers will lean heavily on that combination, as the running game is a bit of a mystery. Iowa's transferred Strike Bird will be the starter, as the team has to replace their top 2 rushers in 2020. 3 starters to do a return on the offensive line, with tackle Dimitri Emmanuel being the best of the bunch. The Duke's defense that will try to stop the 49ers offense will feature several new faces up front. Ends Victor Dimitri and Chris Trump II, combined for 39 sacks in a career, and they are no longer in Durham, North Carolina at Duke University. They're no longer there. Technical Ben Fry is moving outside, leaving the remaining out the line position in the hands. You got to understand this. Some of the inexperienced players back end of Duke. The defense should be okay with the leading tackler, Shaq Hayward, continuing for a long honors. This unit also forces 20 turnovers in 2020, which was good for the 13th in the nation. And we're going to look at this here. Can Duke start 1-0? That's going to be the big question. I think they could. I think this is going to be a close game. I predict Duke 30. Yes, I'm going to say it. I predict Duke 30, Charlotte 24. I think Duke will hold on at the end here. If Duke, this could be one of my, either way games. It could be either going forward or here and stuff. So, so if you're looking there, let's see here. If you're looking here at that, the odds here for Duke, the money line is Duke is favorite by 6.5. Stay under that. It's going to be 6. It's not going to be 7. I think Duke wins by 6. So if you're betting here, you got to bet for the underdog. Underdog in this one will be close here. I think these games will be a little bit closer than teams than people really expect here. On the next, we're going to move right on down here. The next game we're going to talk about, it's Old Dominion invading Winston-Salem, North Carolina at Wake Forest University, the Demon Deacons. Can the Demon Deacons on this game will be played on the ACC channel? What will the Demon Deacons and Ole Miss do here? We talk about a lot of people replaced. Wake Forest didn't have their wide receiver in Sherratt. He sat out the whole year. He's now no longer in at Wake Forest. Their big Basham, the big defensive end for them, no longer there at Wake Forest. This is going to be a retool, revamped defense. The question we got here for Wake Forest: can Wake Forest build on that slow handoff game they got? They played that read option, but they ride the quarter. The quarterback rides that fullback or that tailback, whatever they want to call it. They ride them. They ride them very slow before he break it off, either a pass or it's, can they withstand the misdirection? The Wake Forest offense, the Old Dominion's got to learn the misdirection portion of Wake Forest offense. If Wake Forest gets this thing rolling early and puts a big pounding on Old Dominion, I think Wake Forest is going to run away with this game. But if Old Dominion wants to keep it close, Old Dominion hired Rain to right the ship for